Hello and welcome to BlueTube, where we talk all things blue. And the first story of today's transfer talk is that North Korea is prepared to risk an all-out war. No, that's not the right story. But I did put that in there on purpose, guys, even though it's got nothing to do with football and nothing to do with Chelsea. I thought I'd throw it in there because I'm South Korean, if you don't know, and I'm actually living in South Korea right now. And it's very, very scary because in the last few days, I'm sure you've heard about this as well, there's been an exchange of fire and tensions are rising. Even the Pentagon's having to intervene, and you should definitely, go read about this. I won't link this in the description below. But if you just search in North Korea on Google, I'm sure there'll be, tons of articles just talking about it. Even though it's got nothing to do with Chelsea, as I said, I thought I'd just throw it in there. Because you should definitely know about this. It's a huge issue right now. But the first real story of today is about Everton's John Stones. Yesterday, Roberto Martinez had his press conference, and actually, Mourinho has his press conference as well. And let me just recap on that. There wasn't anything major. He did say Oscar and Moses are still out from injury, so they won't be playing against West Brom. Baba Rahman and Pedro are available for selection, but he said they may or may not play a part. So he didn't really give any indication. And actually, Baba Rahman, when he signed initially, he got the number 17 shirt. But now that Pedro's come, Baba Rahman will be wearing the number 6 shirt, and Pedro will be taking the 17 shirt. Just thought I'd throw it out there. But that's about it for the press conference. There was some interesting stuff. Like when he was asked about Pogba, he said, "I don't talk about Juventus players." But in the end, he did actually say, when he was asked about any potential swaps, he said Willian is definitely not going anywhere. He's 100% staying at Chelsea this season. But rather worrying, or not worryingly, but he didn't mention Oscar or Ramirez or Juan Cuadrado. He didn't say anything about he only targeted Willian and said Willian is staying at Chelsea, but didn't say anything about Oscar, anything about Ramirez, anything about Cuadrado. And I'll talk more about that when we talk about Pogba in the end, because I'm gonna leave the best for last. But let's get into this. And Roberto Martinez's press conference, he said, of course, John Stones is not for sale. He said he has not handed in the transfer request yet, and even if he does, he will not be leaving. That's what he said, because it's way too late in the transfer window to sell someone that big from their club. And let me tell you what I think of this. I think that Everton are greedy little. Right? Because they are just trying to squeeze as much money as they possibly can out of this deal. I mean, I get it. John Stones is one of their best players. It's like if somebody came in to buy Eden Hazard from us, we'd be really, really reluctant to let him go, right? But John Stones, he's a good player, don't get me wrong. But he is not worth 40 million pounds, right? If you tell me that he's worth 40 million pounds, as he is right now, that's just dumb, right? That's just dumb. And I genuinely think that this is all just mind games. They're just trying to get Chelsea to up their bid to get the most money as possible. I do think if Chelsea put in a 40 million pound bid, it will be accepted, and they will be willing to let him go. And in fact, they're very, very close to signing that center back from River Plate as well for 6 million pounds that I mentioned yesterday. So I do think they will let him go. But 40 million pounds, I'm still unsure about what I think about it, but it's better than nothing, And as I said yesterday, I would be happy if he does come to Chelsea. Even though I don't think the price is right, I will be happy. I'm not going to complain for getting John Stones. But let's stop talking about Stones, because we've talked about it enough in the last month. And let's move on to Moses. And, with Pedro coming in, there's been a lot of uncertainty surrounding Cuadrado, Moses, and Willian, actually, just yesterday as well. And yesterday I reported that Tottenham are trying to sign Moses. And today it's been revealed that West Ham are joining the race as well. And let me just tell you now, I'd be so much happier if West Ham got Moses than Tottenham. 6 million pounds for Moses. I think that's a little undervalued, but if you think about it, he hasn't really played for Chelsea at all. He's just been one of those lone players, so I do think Chelsea will be willing to let him go. And Mourinho did say this window in a press conference that Moses is part of our future. And I like Moses, and seeing yesterday's comments, And it does seem like, even though we like Moses, we kind of know that he's gonna leave. By the way, yesterday I did ask about this. You should go check out the comment section of yesterday just to get a feel for what the Chelsea fans think of this. But the general consensus yesterday was Juan Cuadrado and Moses to go. And apparently, that's what Chelsea are thinking as well. Moses, I do think he's gonna leave because I just don't think there's space for him at Chelsea. I mean, we have 6 right wingers in our club. And actually, somebody mentioned as well, I'll leave this comment here, that Chelsea actually have 8 wingers. No, actually have, what is it? Yeah, 8 wingers, if you think about it, because Oscar can play on the right as well. And Ramirez usually plays on the right as well. And if you think about it, against Manchester City, Ramirez played on the right-hand side. So, we actually have 8 players that can play right wing. I don't know what I think about that, but I do think we're going to let some go, and Moses is going to have to, to be one of those players, unfortunately. And finally, the big story of the day is Pogba. And, if I made this video 5 hours earlier, I would have been reporting Pogba bid accepted, and the title would be Pogba fee agreed or something crazy, and I'd just be ecstatic. I'd be saying, I'm so happy that this deal's agreed, he's a great player, blah blah blah. But, news surrounding Pogba has just blown up in the last 24 hours. It's gone from Chelsea are thinking about putting a bid, to Chelsea have put in a bid, to Chelsea have gotten a bid accepted, and now it seems like Chelsea have gotten their bid rejected. Which is confusing, I know, but it's the Sun that initially said Chelsea have had a £69 million bid accepted, and the world just went crazy. And then there's been some other newspapers that said Chelsea have had an £86 million bid accepted. So there was a bit of confusion, and now people are saying there has been a bid rejected with no specific price tag. And it's just getting really confusing. And by the time I upload this, the situation might have changed as well, because that's just how changing it is. What's the word? How capricious it is. ACT vocab right there. But yeah, it's just changing a lot right now. And right now, the current situation is that we've had a bid rejected to be around £70 million. There hasn't been any, the media hasn't singled out any players that could be going the other way. They just said a deal worth around 80 million pounds, and it's just been rejected. And apparently, Di Marzia, I think, he's a guy on Twitter. You should follow him. He brings out very, very reliable information about player transfers. And he's come out and said Chelsea have approached Juventus, but Juventus have said that Pogba is intransferable. And Di Marzio is a very, very reliable source. So I don't really know what I think about this. 5 hours earlier, as I said, I was very, very excited. Now I'm not as excited, just hearing the latest developments. But you know what? I do think that a deal can happen. I genuinely do think that Pogba could be coming to Chelsea. And it's really exciting to think that. But there are some really, really big questions to answer. And this is my question of the day for you guys. If Juventus came in, he said, okay, if you give us £50 million plus Cuadrado plus Oscar for Pogba, would you be willing to make that deal? And if you guys don't know, you guys should check out 100% Chelsea. I'll link them in the description down below. They're another Chelsea fans channel. They make videos that are about 90 minutes every single day, and I watch every single one because I find them really interesting. And they just yesterday or just today, they're having a discussion. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? They were having a discussion about this very, very question. Would you be willing to let Oscar leave to make way for Pogba? And it was very, very interesting what they said. They had a full-on argument, and they were shouting. It was insane. Let me just say my views on this, and then afterwards, I'd like you to put in the comment section what you think about this. I personally really would not like to see Oscar go, because I just love him. As a player, as a person, I just like him. I have an attachment to him. He's been at the club for like 3 years. and I just like him. And I personally have a hard time letting go of players like that. Letting go of players who've been at the club for so long. And this is reminiscent of Juan Mata. It's not the same thing. When Juan Mata left, I almost cried, right? But it's kind of like that. It's letting go of a great player. But I don't know. And Pogba, let me just put this out. Pogba is a better player than Oscar. No questions about that. And so this is my answer to that question. If there was a bid that came in right now, with 1 week left of the transfer window to go, I would say no, reject it, and try to negotiate a deal where we send Juan Cuadrado and Ramirez. Because Ramirez, I'd be happy to let him go. I've made my views about Ramirez clear. Juan Cuadrado, I don't think he's gotten a fair chance, but I wouldn't mind seeing him go. Because Pogba just is amazing, and Pedro's come now, so the need for Juan Cuadrado has really, really declined. But if Juventus came in on transfer deadline day with 5 hours to go, and they said, look, here's my offer, take it or leave it, I take it. As much as it breaks my heart to see Oscar go, if it happened on transfer deadline day, I'd say, take him. Take Oscar, take Cuadrado, take the cash, and give us Pogba. And, it would be one of those things that's bittersweet. Just letting go of Oscar, it's gonna hurt. But bringing in a world-class player, arguably one of the best midfielders in world football right now, yeah. I think for a lot of people, Tony from 100% Chelsea was saying this, he'd do it in a heartbeat. Even though he thinks Oscar's a great player, Pogba's world-class, you'd be stupid to reject that deal. And I kind of agree with him, but I kind of disagree with him as well. So let me know of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would you let go of Oscar to bring in Pogba? And that kind of brings the end of today's transfer window, transfer talk window video. Yeah, and actually before I go, I just want to let you guys know that tomorrow there will not be a video coming out. There will not be a transfer talk, unless Chelsea sign Pogba, unless something massive happens. I won't be making a video, and the reason for that is because tomorrow I'll be visiting relatives right from the morning and all the way till the night, and when I come back, of course, I'll be catching that West Bromwich Albion game, which you guys should definitely watch. I think that's 1 p.m. UK time, correct me if I'm wrong, but no, 1:30 UK time, something like that. And of course I'll be watching that, so I won't really have time tomorrow, but of course the day after that I'll be coming at you with a match review of the West Bromwich Albion game. Hopefully, I'd love to see Pedro and Baba Rahman get a start, but all will be revealed tomorrow in the game, and not until then, but until the day after that, I'll see you guys later. I don't know how to end this. See ya, peace, bye. What the hell was that?